In our Sunrise Smart Start this morning, a house damaged by fire overnight in Rochester.
Crews responding just before midnight to Curtis Street. Officials say no one was injured, but the home sustained extensive damage to both floors and the attic. The cause of the fire still under investigation.
A 19-year-old has been arrested in connection with a gunpoint robbery in Henrietta. Randolph Chavis has been charged with robbery and grand larceny after officials say he robbed the 7-Eleven on East Henrietta Road last month. He's being held in the Monroe County Jail. That investigation is ongoing, we're told, and more charges may be filed.
A Wayne County woman is facing arson charges after a fire outside Rochester General Hospital. Firefighters responded to the report of a woman setting a fire around 1 p.m. on Sunday. We're told they located a fire near the outdoor picnic area. Investigators say the fire was set intentionally by a 43-year-old woman from Wolcott who has not been identified.
In Washington, President Biden will speak to the nation tonight in his State of the Union address.
Several topics are on the agenda, including inflation and the conflict in Eastern Europe. Raquel Martin has more.
Tuesday night, President Joe Biden will deliver his first State of the Union address to the nation. But in the backdrop, the crisis in Ukraine.
What is going to be the message from the president given this crisis?
We have to stand for democracy.
White House Deputy Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the president will use his platform to show the U.S. and allies are united behind Ukraine.
And we are sending a very loud message to President Putin.
Over the last few days, the U.S. and European allies have issued increasingly harsh sanctions against Russia's central banking system and deployed billions in aid to Ukraine.
America is back in terms of its international leadership.
Virginia Democratic Senator Mark Warner says it's important President Biden showcase his efforts.
And the fact of the coalition that's been built, not only of European nations, but countries like Japan and Korea and Taiwan, I think he needs to address that.
But some Republicans say the president must go further
to demonstrate to other aggressors that we mean business.
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell says sanctions may not be enough to deter Putin and is urging the president increase military spending.
But President Biden must lead by example.
The White House has not announced plans for additional military funding, but is calling on Congress to pass a multi-billion-dollar aid and security package to help Ukraine.
That was Raquel Martin reporting. You can watch the President's State of the Union address tonight at 9 on CBS.
As the conflict in Ukraine reaches a 6th day now, the Russian military continues to close in on Kyiv. Satellite images showing troops within 17 miles of the country's capital. Amid the conflict, Ukrainian and Russian delegates holding peace talks yesterday. U.S. defense officials believe the Russian offensive is behind schedule.
Russians have not only experienced a stiff and determined resistance by the Ukrainians, but logistics and sustainment problems of their own.
The U.S. Embassy also closing its the U.S. also closing its embassy in Belarus and allowing non-essential personnel to leave its embassy in Russia amid the ongoing crisis.
We've heard many stories from our local Ukrainian community.
Now we are hearing from local Russians as well who say they are feeling the devastation. Erica Cost is live this morning with more on this. Erica, good morning.
Good morning. Well, Konstantin Koroblu lives in Penfield, and as you mentioned, he is feeling devastated right now with everything going on. He says some Russian soldiers are being forced to fight in Ukraine, and he doesn't understand how the government could take it this far. Koroblu says that he's maintained friendships and family connections with people in both Russia and Ukraine. He says his Russian connections are facing censorship on the TV, so he's updating them on details unfolding from here in the U.S. Many soldiers there are very young, around 18 years old. He says, again, they don't have a choice.
You might not like a neighbor or something, but I mean, it doesn't mean you have the right to take a gun and come to his house and start shooting. I thought, I mean, in the 21st century, basically, we were kind of over it, you know, especially after, you know, the World War II.
As you can imagine, many Russians here locally decline to comment on camera. They don't feel comfortable. The Mother of God Orthodox Church in Brighton says they're praying for peace every day. In Rochester, Erica Cost, News 8.
We all are. Erica, thank you. Our local Ukrainian community holding rallies and relief events over the last several days. Find out how you can help by heading to rochesterfirst.com.
Well, James, it's the first day of March, and we're already seeing 26 degrees to start the morning. Not too bad.
Yeah, so pretty much right on par to kick off the month. As you know, March can be a wild month, and I think we have a little bit of a ride over the next few days. Look at Darien, already at 40 degrees. Not bad there. I think we all get there over the next 24 hours, likely this afternoon. Mid-40s will call for. Then a few rain and snow showers work their way in as we get later in the day, but the best chance for snow comes Thursday morning. We'll talk about that as well as the bus stop forecast at the end of the show. Mark.
All right, James, thank you. Another check of the roads with our sunrise traffic. Looks like we've got things going on 390 again, although there is some slowing now as volume increases. No report of any accidents there or on 490 or 590 as well. So as you get ready to head out the door, should be a good ride into work and school.
Now for the latest on COVID-19, tomorrow masking in schools no longer required. Governor Kathy Hochul's announcement allowing school districts to set their own policy. Both Monroe County Executive Adam Bello and County Health Commissioner Dr. Michael Mendoza are backing the governor's decision. Mendoza says if new cases arise in the classroom, they would be handled on a case-by-case basis.
There is somewhat of a shift that's happening. We're not doing as much community-based testing, but what we're asking people to do is what we've done before the pandemic, which is that if you're feeling sick, and you feel you need to get tested, we want you to reach out to your healthcare provider.
In the meantime, most county-run COVID testing sites are closing. Instead, the county will provide at-home COVID tests to 32 county libraries starting today.
Buffalo Bills fans will no longer need to be vaccinated to enter Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. Officials announcing yesterday the venue's vaccination policy that required everyone 12 and up to be fully vaccinated is now dropped. And the requirement for those 5 to 11 years old to have at least one shot, that requirement has also been dropped.
New York's new redistricting maps going into effect today for the new congressional districts ahead of the 2022 election cycle. This comes as a legal battle over the creation of the map continues. State Republicans have accused the Democrat majority legislature of gerrymandering when redrawing those district lines, pointing to the bipartisan Independent Redistricting Commission failing to reach a consensus. Changes to New York's map include a vast Democrat influence that goes from the Hudson Valley up to Albany and west to Binghamton and Utica. Well, Japanese car manufacturer Toyota halting domestic factory operations today. This after a cyber attack hit one of the company's suppliers. The suspension will cause a loss of about 13,000 cars of output. The Japanese government is investigating.
Summer thoughts here. Darien Lake will be adding a new water slide ahead of the 2022 season. The new Wahoo Wall will stand 60 feet tall and will feature a 30-foot vertical plunge and a wave where riders can feel zero gravity. Construction is expected to be done when the park opens coming up on May 27th. All right, here's what some folks will be talking about at the water cooler this morning. Major League Baseball's owners and players nearing an agreement to end the lockout. The Associated Press reporting the league extending the deadline for a labor agreement until 5 o'clock this afternoon to salvage a March 31st opening day. New York Yankees legend and Hall of Famer Derek Jeter announced yesterday he is stepping down as the Miami Marlins CEO. In related news.
Yeah, interesting.
Hopefully they can get a deal done.
Yes.
New month, new day, maybe a new deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you got to keep me up to snuff on that one, certainly. And I will keep you up to it in the forecast as we look to a warmer afternoon. We're starting off in the 20s, mostly cloudy, eventually finishing in the 40s. A nice finish to the bus stop forecast. The only day I'm real concerned about is Thursday. Thursday morning. Watch out for snow showers that could put a couple inches on roadways, make travel a little bit difficult there. And then we warm up Friday and into Saturday. We climb into the 40s, maybe even some 50s by Sunday and Monday of next week. Allie, I know you're a little excited about that.
I'm super excited about that. Are you kidding me?
We get these warm swings. March, as you know, can be a wild month. We talked about it in our quiz earlier. Last March, 1.4 inches on the entire month. There's no way we only get 1.4 inches this year.
No way.
Bold prediction this morning.
I'm calling it. Call me bold.
All right, James, thank you. And thank you so much for watching News 8 at Sunrise.
Our next update in 30 minutes. CBS Mornings is up next. Have a great day.